Reaction. Deputy White House Chief of Staff for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller. Look, we're going to be dealing with this for decades to come. It doesn't remove every known terrorist that we don't know where they are in the country that they allowed in, or the cartel members, or the gang members, or the murderers, or the rapists, or the other violent criminals, or the drug dealers. But we stopped the influx of illegals. Now we're in the process of trying to find all the people that Biden let in and get rid of them. That's a Herculean task.
Yes, it's a mammoth task. As President Trump has said, Biden flooded this country with millions and millions of illegal aliens, many of them rapists, murderers, gang members, terrorists, human smugglers, child traffickers, and every kind of criminal and thug that you can imagine on planet Earth. But let's begin by celebrating the incredible news that President Trump, as you mentioned, Sean, has achieved the most secure border with the lowest level of illegal crossings in U.S. history. Sean, I've been studying and following and working on this issue for a long time. There is no nation anywhere on planet Earth that has achieved such a rapid success on its border in any time period as President Trump has achieved here in the United States, going nearly overnight from an open border to a sealed border. Surely ranks as one of the great achievements in the history of domestic policy and national security. Now, you mentioned another breaking news story tonight, Sean. The Department of Justice has indicted the illegal alien terrorist from Maryland, the so-called Maryland man, who is actually a foreign terrorist from El Salvador, to make him face justice for his monstrous crimes against humanity. Another huge win for the Trump administration. Thanks to weeks of investigative work, this illegal alien monster is going to be held accountable for his terrible crimes against women and children. And then guess what, Sean? After he does hard time in an American jail, guess where he's going? Right back to El Salvador. What do Democrats have to say about this now? They celebrated this guy. They worshiped this guy. They treated him as a hero. Now he's been indicted by a grand jury for committing some of the most heinous crimes I've ever read about. He's going to do hard time in our jails, and then he's going back home where he belongs, to El Salvador.
Here's my worry. In spite of everything that you have accomplished, and you are right in expressing, we've never been able to secure a border this fast. There's never been a more preventable national security disaster like this. But in spite of all of these great efforts in record time, you, the president, the vice president, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, everybody involved here, I don't know how you find every terrorist. I was asking Dan Bongino about it this week. How do you possibly find people that we don't even know are in this country, the gotaways that got in? We don't know where they came from. 200 countries? I've got to imagine that my prediction, it's a matter of when, not if, and is going to turn out to be right. I mean, I would argue last weekend in Boulder was a terrorist attack. And I think that, you know, we have a million man out.
It was a terrorist attack from a Biden illegal. It was a terrorist attack from a Biden illegal that was given a work permit by Joe Biden.
A million FBI man hours spent on the border, Stephen?
So you're right. This is the thing that gives me the greatest concern about the future of this country, is the millions of unvetted, unchecked, and just unknown foreign nationals who have been deposited into this country, not to mention the millions more of visa overstays embedded into all of our communities, some operating at the direction and control of foreign governments, foreign enemies, foreign terrorist organizations, not to mention the cartels, which have spread so much bloodshed across this hemisphere, that do business with some of our worst adversaries. But it's why, Sean, and I'll say this now, it's why it's so important to pass the president's big, beautiful bill, because that legislation hires 10,000 new ICE agents to go and find these killers and terrorists. It funds the detention beds we need to keep these people off our streets. It funds the planes we need to fly them back home. It also funds the creation of Homeland Security task forces with FBI, ATF, ICE, Homeland Security investigations, and others to prioritize the disruption and dismantlement of foreign terrorist organizations in our cities. And of course, it funds the entire phase 2 of the wall project across the entire southern border. That funding and the authorities in this legislation, Sean, are the best chance that we have of giving our president, our commander-in-chief, our leader, the tools that he needs to keep America safe.
You know, and by the way, you're right. The bill has to be passed. Lindsey Graham on my radio show earlier today was very clear. We're not going to stop here. We're going to go back. We're going to look for all the savings we can possibly find. And he said he wants to do not one, but 2 more reconciliation bills as fast as possible. Find money for savings. But we need this money up front. It is imperative for all of the things that you mentioned: securing the border, energy dominance, the next generation of weaponry, and, of course, tax cuts for the American people.
Yes.
Stephen Miller, very ambitious agenda, and we got to fight to keep the country safe. Stephen Miller, appreciate it.
Enact the promises President Trump campaigned on, and we will. Thank you, Sean.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.